And hello and welcome everyone to beautiful Bill Greehey Arena. Jumping in here a little bit early, I'm Joe Rodriguez, joined by Ruben Dominguez. Ruben, we've been waiting for it all season. These teams, all four of them, have been battling it out like crazy, and finally it's here. The Heartland Conference has arrived. And you were talking about it a little bit earlier before the show, just a buzz kind of in the air, and feels like a really great playoff environment.
Yeah, good to be here, Joe, and the Heartland Conference Tournament is definitely a place and a showcase for these Heartland Conference student athletes to show their stuff and vie for the Heartland Conference Championship. The atmosphere is electric. A lot of people in the stands to watch this matchup between the University of Arkansas Fort Smith and the St. Mary's Rattlers, so it should be a good day.
Yeah, and we know a little bit about our St. Mary's Rattlers, or I guess that our more consistent viewers would, but this University of Arkansas Fort Smith team, they're a strong one themselves. Very strong at home this year, but on the road they struggled just a bit. They were 3-9 away from home, and that's something that they're going to have to fix here in this tournament. But I mean, you only need to spark 2 wins here in order to capture the Heartland Conference title, and this team more than capable of doing it. I guess my question for you, Ruben, as a former athlete yourself, is there a major difference between playing at home and going on the road, and especially in a playoff environment?
Well, it really depends on the athletes themselves, but always for me it was nice to be in the home environment and be surrounded and comfortable. You weren't subject to the crowd noise that was going to hinder your game, and you could really stay in the environment at home. So I think it'll be important for both teams to not let the atmosphere get to them, but more importantly for the Lions to not let the hometown crowd affect their game.
And St. Mary's on their end of things, they're 11-2 at home so far on this year, and they're actually entering play that they're about just as hot as you can be on a 5-game winning streak heading into this Heartland Conference tournament. Ruben, we've seen this team, they go through their highs and lows throughout the year, but do you think that they are putting it together at the right time now?
Well, you never want to jinx anything, but these Rattlers have been red hot this last half of the year, and that's what put them in the position to be the #1 seed here. I think it'll be important for them today to not let that pressure of being the #1 team in the conference affect them on the court and play their game to the best of their ability.
And these two teams, they've matched up twice before. Both times the home team taking the victory. The first time Arkansas Fort Smith, they won at home by a score of 74-60. St. Mary's, though, they got their revenge. That was a 72-66 game, just 1 day away from being a month ago. Is that kind of indicative of what we're going to be seeing here today? Just the home team once again, or is it more of just an even team matchup?
Well, you got to look at it in the perspective of this is a brand new season, as they do call it the postseason. So I think for both teams, they can forget the previous games. They can forget what happened in the regular season, and now this is a new season, and they can start on a new journey that it has for them.
All right, well, one player to look out for on each side. I'll do the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. The player to look out for, it's Seth Youngblood. He averages 17.3 points per game. Youngblood also had a career, school, and season high with 48 points. That's the most scored in the NCAA Division II this season. So Seth Youngblood, definitely one to look out for. Ruben, who is to look out for on St. Mary's side of things?
Well, I think play really does start with the point guards, and that's no other than Marvin Binney for the St. Mary's Rattlers. He scored a total of 342 points this year. He's averaging about 12.7 a game. So I think it'll be essential if he gets on the hot track and he gets a hot hand, the Rattlers can really ride him to victory.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see those two matching up against one another. Marvin Binney, he was first team All Heartland Conference selection. Seth Youngblood, also a first teamer. So it'll be great to see these two match up. All right, we're going to take a quick break, Rattler fans. When we come back, the introductions of the teams as you're watching the Heartland Conference Tournament here on the Rattler Network.
On behalf of the Heartland. The Heartland Conference Men's Basketball Championship Tournament. Our first game today featured the 4th seed Lions of the University of Arkansas at Fort Smith and the number 1 seed Rattlers of St. Mary's University. A 6'1" sophomore from Dallas, Texas, number 0, Alex Cooper.
Rattler fans, we welcome you to beautiful Bill Greehey Arena. I'm Joe Rodriguez, joined by Ruben Dominguez. It's finally here, playoff time. Both teams primed and ready as your St. Mary's Rattlers will be taking on the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. I'm joined now by one Ruben Dominguez. And Ruben, the playoffs are finally here. Are we going to see some jitters out of these players, or are they primed and ready to go?
Well, it looks like both teams are raring to go at this opening tip-off. We'll see how it plays out here. It should be a good one.
All right, let's go ahead and meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Lions, starting at guard, Alex Cooper alongside Kenny Martin at forward. Dusan Stojanovic, he'll start as well alongside Devonta Thomas. And then first team all-conference player Seth Youngblood will round out the lineup. For the Rattlers, it's going to be Justin Alexander, Joe Monroe at the post. At forward, it'll be J.J. Bolton, and then it'll be Marvin and Marvin, Benny and Witt at the guard positions. Tip is taken down by the Lions, and Ruben, a very nice home crowd, the biggest one we've seen of the day. Do you think there's any pressure on this Rattler team to try to spark the crowd early on?
Well, there's definitely going to be some pressure there for the Rattlers as the Lions take the first basket of the game. But I think they'll do a good job to control it and use the crowd to their advantage.
All right, here's Benny bringing it on down the floor. These two teams, they have matched up before, as they're going to call Joe Monroe. It looks like a bit of a hook right there on Stojanovic, and already Monroe with his first foul of the game. Joe Monroe being inserted into the starting lineup today. We usually see him and Matthews split time back and forth, but they both bring a similar presence, very athletic, and they play very strong down there in the post.
The thing with Monroe is that he brings a lot of energy to the team, and he can really be a presence for them down low.
Fast break the other way. Here's Benny over to Lions. He lays it up. Oh, no good. Tipped up in the air. Bolton not able to get it, and it's going to be a jump ball with Rattler possession as Benny scrapped his way back in there. I think you're already seeing some high-intensity hustle plays. Fresh 35 on the shot clock. Just 1 minute played so far. So it looks like might have had a collision there. Martin, he was grabbing at his mouth. Do you think if anything, might have chipped his tooth or something? It looks like they're going to look at him. Hopefully nothing too serious, but he will have to be tended to, and they'll go ahead and insert a substitute for him. Checking in will be Josh Harmon. Martin seems just fine over there, but a little bit shaken up. Inbound over to Monroe, over to Witt as we get back to the action. Bolton with it up top. He'll try to insert it to Monroe. Inside out game, and now the Rattlers will look to swing it around and repost. This time to Alexander in the post. Very strong help defense being played by the Lion. Count the basket for Alexander as the Rattlers get on the board.
And the Rattlers look to go down low to the big juice, and he makes good on that basket and gets him 2 points. We'll see if he can finish the three-point play off.
And I like the aggressive attitude out of the Rattlers. Try to establish your post players first, and then if it's not there, then try to follow the jumpers. Three-point play completed by Alexander there as the Lions look to quickly move in transition. Here's Cooper over to Youngblood. He puts up a three. It's good. And the Rattlers, that's the player they're going to have to worry about, Seth Youngblood. He scored an NCAA Division II high, 48 points. That was against the defending national champion, Central Missouri. That was in a triple overtime game back earlier on in the year.
And Youngblood is quite the player, and it'll be vital for the Rattlers to not let him get any open looks.
Over to Cooper now. Cooper working against Benny. The blow by Moose. Stojanovic, and he gets the answer. As quickly now the lead has been pushed to 4 for the Lions. Here comes Benny now. Over to Witt. Benny running off a couple of screens. Up to Alexander up top now. Rattlers trying to run the offense here. Bolton drives baseline. He'll pull up with a jumper, and that's good for 2. Good move by Bolton and good use of the shoulder there, creating himself some space without committing an offensive foul himself. Youngblood, he swings it through, swings it back out to Stojanovic. He does have that range. Instead, he'll drive to the hoop, left-handed scoop for 2.
And that's where Stojanovic is very dangerous. They know he can shoot the long ball, so they didn't want to give that up, and he makes his move to the basket and finishes there for an easy 2.
Here's Witt now. Stojanovic already with 4 points. Witt, he'll pull up for 3. That's good as well. Both of these teams coming out firing here in the early goings. It seems like nobody's willing to miss or back down. Here's Youngblood. Oh, Witt thought he drew the offensive foul there. Youngblood now will make the move. Pass on out and back to Youngblood. Witt drawing the assignment this possession. He'll kick it out to Cooper. Cooper hoists a 3 of his own. That one short. The tip though up and good. Nice finish there by Thomas. Benny now with it as this first 3 minutes and 30 seconds has gone by in a flurry. Bolton trying to look down low. Instead he'll swing it into the corner to Benny. Bolton, oh, dangerous pass right there. A hand in the passing lanes as Harmon got a piece. Here's Cooper the other way. He swoops in. Oh, and the tip is up and good. Good finish there by Harmon. So the Rattlers getting hit here on the offensive glass the past 2 possessions. 5 points the advantage now. Looks like substitutes of the dead ball for both squads. Zone defense being played by the line. They're trying to pack it in, trying not to let these Rattler bigs get established. Benny now. Kick out pass. Witt with it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to have to make a move. Bolton now. Over to Monroe. Monroe in the air. He hangs. Can't finish. Tip up. No good. Harmon with the board. And that zone defense makes it so difficult for the Rattlers to get into their set. Kick out pass by Youngblood. It's picked off by Benny. 3-on-2 situation. Make it a 4-on-2. Witt, he'll spot up for 3. No good. Benny, though, is there. He gets the offensive board. Rattlers still pushing the issue. Oh, and just offline on that pass. And with that, Rattler fans, and Heartland Conference fans, I should say, we're going to have our first media timeout of the game. We're watching Rattler basketball, or Heartland Conference basketball, here on the Rattler Network.
Premier institutions across 4 states. The members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
And welcome back, everyone, as we're ready to get back into play. Checking into the game, Blake Granham for the Lions. Also checking back in, Kenny Martin. Looks like he was tended to and ready to go. On the Rattler sides of things, checking in Isaiah Matthews and Ryan Thomas. So the Rattlers swapping out their bigs here. Cooper, he'll kick it out. Harmon for 3, it's good. And some killer shooting early has posed problems for St. Mary's. They're getting doubled up now, 16-8. The Lions shooting 77.8% so far for the game. Bolton, it's being checked up top. That's by Thomas. Skip pass over the corner to Witt. Pick and roll with Thomas. Witt trying to get into the lane, but that one knocked down and taken away by Cooper. Cooper pressing the issue. Looks like a possible chance. Oh, and a miscue there. It's going to be a backcourt violation and Rattler basketball.
And despite that possession there, the Lions have done a great job of getting the ball down low and kicking it out to their shooters, and they've made amends for that.
It'll be Benny to inbound on the baseline, a fresh 35 on the shot clock. Oh, a bad pass as that one's tipped and taken away by Kenny Martin. Those are the kinds of mistakes you can't really have. Here's Branham now, dribbling with his left hand, working against Benny. Over to Harmon now, he dribbles baseline. That one tipped. Harmon, though, managed to come away with it. 17 on the shot clock. Harmon now working against Thomas. Out to Branham now. Back over to Harmon. Harmon, he fakes the shot, drives the lane. Wide open jumper by Thomas. It's good for 3 as the Rattlers are getting killed behind the line as well. The Lions 3 of 4 from behind the long line. The deficit now at 11. Still plenty of time though. Here comes Witt. Over to Benny now. He got a screen from Thomas. Pops out to Bolton. Screen and roll. Now over to Witt. Rattlers trying to get this one into the paint. The foul is drawn by Witt as he was able to create some offense there. And the real struggle has been for St. Mary's. They're having a hard time getting into the paint against this tough zone defense.
Yeah, and it's a great zone by the Lions, but I think it'll be essential for the Rattlers to get open looks outside of the paint.
First one good for Marvin Witt. Marvin now with 5 on the day. He averages 12.2 points per game. As Stojanovic just checked back into the game. And the second one good as well. So deficit back to single digits. Cooper passes it over to Youngblood. Youngblood working against Witt. Youngblood blows by him. The floater in the lane. Offensive foul drawn by Thomas. Great positioning there by the big man as he sacrificed his body for the play. Here comes Benny now. And taking charges is something that this Rattler team works on a lot. And something that I'm sure if we put Benny hoists up a 3, that one just short. Rebound taken down by Bolton. Extra possession now for St. Mary's. Benny, he's going to get trapped right here. Good pass out to Thomas. Thomas trying to create. Over to Witt now. Witt, hard pass, but that one's tipped out of play. It'll be Lions ball. I think our own Tony Morano got his camera hit. I know. All right, well, inbound pass, 18 on the shot clock. Here's Witt for 3. It's good. St. Mary's a quick little 5-0 run here, and we're back within 6. Here comes Cooper, though, trying to answer. Good pass off to Martin. He'll get the finish for a quick answer of his own. Benny looking back to the bench. He has his call. Pass over to Bolton up top. Will they try to swing it to the corner to Witt? Yes, they will. Here's another one for 3. No good. Bolton scrambling for it, but it's eventually taken down by Martin. Here comes Cooper now in transition for the Lions. A floater up in the air and over the big man Thomas for the finish for 2 for Cooper as he gets on the score sheet for the first time today.
And the difference has really been the finishing. The Lions making more baskets than the Rattlers when they need it. And this displays the score.
Matthews tries to pass off to Thomas. The ball's loose, but Thomas will come up with it. Still 15 to work with on the shot clock. Benny over to Witt now. Has it in the corner. 10 seconds now. Matthews, he'll have to put it back. He's rejected by Martin. A foul is called, and that's going to be on Matthews. Only the second team foul that the Rattlers have committed. In fact, both teams haven't committed many fouls at all. With that, we're underneath the 12-minute mark, so we're going to take a quick break. So you're watching Heartland Conference basketball here on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, everyone. 11-10 remaining here in the first half. Lions, they've bursted their way to a 10-point lead here in the early going. Just looking at the numbers, they're shooting a staggering 83.3% from the field. Really impressive number coming out of the Lions as they are hot out of the gates. Here's Martin now working against Thomas. It looks like a couple too many steps there, and it'll be a turnover and Rattler ball as Christian Miner will check into the game for the first time today for J.J. Bolton. And Ruben, when you have a team come out this hot against you, if you're St. Mary's, what do you have to do in order to kind of weather the storm and come back into it?
Well, there's really nothing you can do when a team's shooting this well. You really just have to weather the storm and see what you can do as far as getting points and keeping the game close. And hopefully when it slows down, you can get yourself back into the lead.
St. Mary's so far, they're keeping it within 10. If you're wondering, they're shooting 30.8% from the field themselves. Benny drawing yet another double team. They've been double teaming every single time he's had a screen up top. Miner now with it, threatening baseline. Witt hoists another three in the air, and it's good. Marvin Witt, the first to double figures as he's now at 11. He has the majority of the Rattlers' points. Here's Youngblood, pass out top, turnover, here comes Miner. Down the lane, Miner lays it in for two. And just like that infusion of energy, here's Youngblood hoisting one up in the air, no good. Thomas though with the board, Stojanovic with it. Over to Cooper now. Cooper, checked by Benny. Thomas in the corner for three, it's good. Thomas. And the Lions just keep shooting lights out. That one a little bit of a crowd silencer, the lead back to 8. 3-2 zone defense. Slight shift over to a 2-1-2. Here's Witt now. Swung back up to Benny up top. Back to Witt in the corner. Benny, he'll put up a three. That one no good. Tipped around and eventually taken down by Stojanovic. Here they go in transition, the Lions. That one laid up for two by Thomas in the lead, just back to 10, just like that.
And it seems as if the Lions are baiting the Rattlers into taking a shot and getting points out of the transition as well there.
Here's Witt with it up top. Over to Miner in the corner. Miner now looking down low, trying to find Thomas, can't do it. Benny with it, back to Miner, and they call him for steps. Alexander, he'll check back into the game now for Thomas. On the other side of things, Branham will check into the game for Cooper. That'll move Youngblood to the point guard position. Youngblood still working against Witt. Here's Thomas now. He'll swing it over to Branham. Back to Youngblood. Fakes the three. Now I'll pass it over to Branham in the corner. That one, a pass a bit too low as it's off of Kenny Martin's shoe and out of play. Rattler basketball. Here comes Benny now. And you mentioned the Rattlers being baited into taking those three-point shots. Well, currently they're 3 of 7 from behind the arc, so not a bad shooting percentage, but the place where they're really hurting is their chances down low. Well, here's a chance down low. Offensive foul called against Benny as Stojanovic able to step over and take that one. That'll be Benny's first foul. And of note, Marvin Benny off to a little bit of a slow start. He's yet to get on the score sheet. Ruben, what do you think he has to do in order to try to get into the flow of the game a little bit?
Well, he looks at the moment to be in a world of trouble, but knowing the quality of player he is, I'm sure he can step it up, regain his focus, and make a big contribution for this Rattler team.
All right. Well, looks like another media timeout coming our way. The Rattlers currently lead 28-18, and we are being joined now by our sideline reporter, Brian Magluian. And Brian, this I think it's safe to say one of the biggest crowds we've seen all year. What is it like, the environment down there on the floor?
It is high energy, Joe, a lot of excitement. I could hardly hear you guys, and you guys are standing right next to me. A lot of excitement, and the Rattlers just slow out of the gates early on. They trail by 10, but this crowd hopefully will push them through.
And Brian, we see the Lions getting out to a good shooting start. What do you think the Rattlers have to do to negate this for the rest of the half?
Rattlers are just going to have to go back to their fundamentals. They're going to have to close out on the shooters, keep a hand up. You know the saying, hand down, man down, and the Rattlers, if they want to climb back into this ball game, they're going to have to rely on their defense, which is what they have done throughout the course of the season. We'll look forward to seeing how they fare the rest of the way.
And Brian, really quickly, St. Mary's seeing a lot of zone out of this Lions team. In your opinion, what's the best way for them to attack it in order to try to reduce this deficit before halftime?
Rattlers just have to be patient. Don't take the first option because odds are it's not the best option. So just work through their offense and look for the best possible shot, and we'll see if they can muster a comeback and close the gap before the half, as you said.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. Checking into the game for the first time, Bryce Smith, as he'll be checking in for Benny. As a traveling violation called there, looks like that one on Minor. And I like what Brian said about trying to just weather this storm. And I mean, it's an 80% shooting performance out of the Lions, and it does seem like the pace of play a little bit more favoring towards Fort Smith than it is towards St. Mary's right now.
Well, they're definitely dictating the tempo here and getting their looks like there as Stojanovic puts in an easy layup. But I like what the Rattlers are doing now with Smith into the game. When they get those open looks, he's the shooter that can really hurt the Lions from behind the three or even in the mid-range.
Swung up to Matthews up top, now back to Smith. So it looks like foul has been called. They're going to get Brett Cannon, who just checked into the game for the first time today. That's the 15th foul committed by the Lions, and the referee is really letting these two teams play. Only 8 fouls total have been called so far today. Inbound to Minor, now back to Smith. Fresh 35 on the shot clock for the guys in gold. Oh, trying for the backdoor cut. Ball on the ground. Matthews diving for it. He's tied up now with Cannon, and a jump ball will be called. Possession arrow pointing towards the Lions' way. Gotta like the hustle, though, out of the Rattlers' ends of things, as Monroe will check into the game for Matthews. Looks like we saw a little bit of man-to-man out of the Lions right there, perhaps trying to switch things up out of the quick timeout, throw St. Mary's off.
And that's really interesting because earlier in the year when these two teams matched up, they did the same.
Nice finish there by Thomas as he floats that one up into the air. Here comes Smith back the other way. The deficit now at 14 for St. Mary's. Alexander with it, top of the circle. Now over to Minor, jab step, puts up a 3. That one no good. Bouncing around, bodies hitting the floor. Jump ball called as it'll be St. Mary's basketball.
And good work there by Joe Monroe to get the offensive board and give his team another chance at scoring some baskets here.
And St. Mary's starting to look a little sluggish over these past few possessions. They're trying to get something going. Good pass, but Alexander can't hit it again. Bodies hitting the floor, and another jump ball as the ball just being around and on the floor the past few possessions and creating these jump balls. Perhaps an indication of a little bit of sloppy passing, and now St. Mary's, they're going to try something different. Here comes the full court press. Inbounding is Harmon. He can't find anyone. He finally gets it to Stojanovic. Now here comes Harmon in transition. That one passed off to Cannon, back to Stojanovic. Youngblood with it now. Passes it off to Cannon. Alexander runs him off the line. He tries to pass it, but it's taken away. Marvin Witt with it now in transition, working against two. He lays it up. That one is going to be a goaltend as it was off the board. Count the basket for the Rattlers.
And great play there by Marvin Witt to get the basket despite the goaltend. He's done a good job tonight, and he's really been carrying this team and keeping them in the game thus far.
Yeah, Witt, he has 65% of the Rattlers' points. That one splashed in for three. Thomas, he's been killing the Rattlers. He's now at 15 himself. Just some hot shooting. Here's Alexander working against the post. That one tipped around, still up for grabs. Alexander will finally put it in for two. Stojanovic asking for the offensive foul. Youngblood now in transition. They're firing that one. A lot of air in it. Here's Witt now working against three Lions. They'll draw. Oh, offensive foul, the call. As Cannon stepped in and took that one. Good job by Cannon getting back in transition as substitutions now for both sides. Matthews, he'll check into the game for Alexander. And on the other side of things, Kenny Martin and Alex Cooper will check back in for the Lions.
Joe, it's been surprising of note, even though the Lions have the lead here, Youngblood only has 3 points.
I think that he's kind of deferring so far in this first half to Thomas, because Thomas, he's just shooting so well right now. Youngblood, though, he also has an assist to his name, and the thing is, the Rattlers, they don't want to, leave Youngblood open, so perhaps him just being a little bit of a distraction is beneficiary as Bryce Smith, a mental mistake there as he'll be called for the double dribble. Cameron Pierce checking into the game for the Rattlers now.
Another great shooter in Pierce. I think the Rattlers are starting to recognize that they are getting the open looks, and with Pierce and Smith in there, they'll be able to knock down some baskets.
As Thomas being aggressive right there, not able to finish, but he'll draw the foul. That one committed by Thomas.
43, Ryan Thomas is first.
As Thomas will now head to the line. He has been crazy hot so far today, as he has 15 points on the day. He's shooting 100% from the field, 6 of 6 total, 3 of 3 from behind the line. So it is insane how well he's shooting, but he misses both here. Rattlers catching a little bit of a break. Here comes Benny now down the floor. Rattlers switching their wingman's positions. Over to Benny now, right free throw line extended. He has Pierce up top. Pierce now, he'll find Smith. Smith, pump fake, now he'll shoot the three. That one no good. Taken down by Matthews. Matthews in the paint, will be aggressive and finish as Isaiah gets on the board for the first time today. Full court pressure being applied, but it's quickly broken by the Lions. Here's Harmon, it's tipped away. Benny now, he'll come up with it. 3-on-2 for St. Mary's. Benny hanging in the air, he can't finish the board, it's around, and it's Thomas ahead of the pack. Thomas with the stuff and the finish as the lead now at 13 for the Lions. Here comes Benny now down the floor. Rattlers trying to slow this one on down. Smith with it. Up top to Thomas. Bit of a gamble there. Here comes Benny. Out to Smith for three. It's good.
And those are the looks that we were looking from Smith as he knocks down that three.
Taken away by Benny. He hits the floor. Smith now with it. In transition. Here's Pierce for three again. Oh, no good. The roof was about to come off. Smith over to Benny from way downtown. Oh, he just put that one a little bit long as Benny shooting that one from NBA range. But the Rattlers do manage to trim the deficit to just 10. We're heading to our last media timeout as you're watching Heartland Conference basketball here on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, everyone. 10 points the deficit right now. 3:03 remaining here in the first half. And Ruben, we've seen the closing of halves can make such a difference, especially in basketball. If you make a 5-0 run yourself, you feel great heading into the half if you're the Rattlers. But if the Lions were able to make a 5-0 run, you're looking at a tough comeback heading into the second half. We'll see how it plays out here. Youngblood with it. Crowd trying to get into this one. And a bit of a happy feet there by Cannon. The turnover perhaps caused by the crowd more than the Rattler defense. And if you're St. Mary's, you have to capitalize on these turnovers here.
And that's what they'll look to do now with Benny with the ball at the top of the key.
Here's Smith over to Bolton. He just checked in at the last break. Benny now with it, looking for Pierce. It's run off the line by Cannon. Pierce trying to insert it down low. He does so, but a bit off the mark from where Matthews would like it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cooper, a bit good hands there. And Matthews manages to muscle his way down the baseline and get the finish for two. Isaiah now with 4 in the last couple of minutes. Here's Cooper, looking over to Cannon now. Youngblood, he'll swing it back to Cooper. Cannon, run off the line. Oh, good pass and a good finish there by Martin as Cannon able to find the tight space and get the finish. Here's Benny. Over to Smith. Smith looking for Bolton, but really tight defense there. Benny now with it up top. Still yet to get on the score sheet. Bolton. He'll attack, go to his right. Lead with the shoulder, that one off the glass, no good. The ball on the ground and a foul is called as Martin drew that one. Substitutions now. Cannon will head to the bench along with Youngblood as Stojanovic will check in. We'll also see Joe Monroe check in along with Marvin Witt, and Branham will also check in for the Lions as well. 1:30 remaining now in the half. Here comes Cooper. Really taking his time, trying to milk this clock. Now here's Martin. Back over to Cooper, and now Branham with it. Trying to insert it down low, but instead they'll swing it back to the top. Youngblood against Witt. Now they insert it to Stojanovic. He has a bit of a size advantage on Bolton. 8 seconds on the shot clock for Youngblood. He'll step back. It's a two-pointer. That one good. And when it rains, it pours. The hot shooting continues for the Lions. Benny now with it. Could work a 2-for-1 here in this situation if they choose to do so. Get the screen from Monroe. Benny bumped off his line by Martin. Now here's Bolton, and he'll turn it over. Here come the Lions the other way. Cooper over to Youngblood. He fakes the three. Now swing it back. Oh, good high-low action. That one sent back by Monroe as he manages to track it down. And now the Rattlers can hold for the last shot of the half. Benny with it up top. The lead is at 12. You know, St. Mary's would love to try to cut into it here. 10 seconds now. Benny's going to get the screen from Bolton. Here's the trap. They've been doing that the whole half. And it's turned over by Martin. That one put up from three-quarters court. No good. And with that, the Rattlers will trail the number 1 seed coming into this tournament. And Ruben, what has Fort Smith done to be so effective here in the first 20 minutes of play?
Well, other than the great shooting, I think they've done well to seize the game by taking control of the tempo. And that has them in the lead here in the first. But we'll see what the Rattlers can do coming out of the break and see if they can climb back into this game.
All right, well, Rattler fans, we're going to go on ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back very shortly with the second half. And you're watching Heartland Conference basketball here on the Rattler Network.